But my name is Keith Hatter. I took my last name after my mom.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Growing up, I would always hear about Johnny B.
Uh-huh.
And over the years, I learned that he was a very important man in the Houston area.
Yes, he was.
Did your mom ever tell you why she decided to name you a Hatter instead of a Doyle?
Good story. Because for a while, I wasn't named anything. On my birth certificate, it was Boy Hatter. So, obviously, Dad ain't make it to the birth for some strange reason. And after a couple of days, they finally named me Keith DeJuan Hatter.
Okay. How old were you when you started to understand that your father maybe wasn't like the normal kind of dad?
I guess it had to be around the understanding of 7 or 8 years old.
What happened?
What made me aware of it is I had asked for some felines, and they was the nicest felines. They were probably $150 worth of pair of shoes. And I asked my dad for it. And I seen my dad fool around there, and he had a bunch of women. And he always looked like he always gave their kids candy and, a lot of more stuff. But me being sheltered by Johnny B, I didn't worry about all that stuff a lot. So when I asked for these pair of shoes, my aunt ended up buying me these pair of shoes. And that's when I sat back and realized that, hey man, why are y'all doing all this stuff that he's supposed to be doing? That's when I realized at that point of time, it's a different thing going on.
You said at that point in time, so you 7 or 8, you kind of starting to realize it. At what age were you when you flat out realized it? When you were like, he a different kind of guy?
Well, to answer that, me personally, I'm a different kind of guy.
What's that mean?
What's that mean is I look at things totally different. And being around Johnny B kind of explored me to growing up, to understanding different people. So at an early age, I didn't look at it like he's a different guy. I looked at it more like he's who he is. You see what I'm saying? So him being who he is, I can accept the fact of who he is. So I don't get mad at a person for being who they are. Do I think I got the short end of the stick? Yeah. But as I get older and realized I had brothers and sisters that wasn't even getting the short end of the stick. You see what I'm saying? But at least I was able to get what I got when it came to my dad.
Okay, so I believe the first time I learned about you, I was probably around 12 or 13 when I learned that I even had a brother, not to mention the other siblings that we had. How old were you when you learned that you had several brothers and sisters out there that you weren't necessarily close to?
Yeah. Dion, Crystal, not Darvicia, but a couple of more besides you. I learned at an early age that I had brothers and sisters. I've actually seen Dion and them growing up play with their uncles and stuff because they were still babies. But more so stories. And then when it came down to you as my brother, I heard a lot of knowledge about, man, your brother this, your brother that, but nobody would never introduce me. I ain't know if you was even in Houston. And to know that you was right around the corner, it even fool around there and bother me more. You went to school in North Forest. I went to Oak Village. Literally staying down the street from your kinfolk. And we didn't physically see each other until we was in our 20s.
When did you have your first child?
I had my first child, I was 16, turning 17 2 days later.
When she told you, I'm pregnant, what went through your head?
Man, when she told me she was pregnant, the only thing I wanted to do was go and let my dad know. I don't know. I didn't have anybody else to talk to, and I know a man of having his caliber kids, he knew something. So, short story behind it. She actually lied about her being pregnant. And my dad actually made the statement, well, shoot, she pregnant, man, gonna feed the baby. So, God dog it, I got to feeding the baby. And lo and behold, when I started feeding the baby, that's when I fooled around and had the baby.
Wait, so she lied about being pregnant.
Yes.
Our father told you if she's pregnant, you should go ahead on and have unprotected sex with her and ejaculate in her.
Feed the baby.
And you did that and she really got pregnant.
Yes.
What did you think about after that?
That was the dumbest shit somebody could ever tell a person. Instead of telling me, hey, man, look, man, you need to settle down. You know what I'm saying? How do you know she pregnant? Have you got, ask me some sort of question and be more concerned about that, But like I say, I'm a different kind of character now at 40. I look back on that statement, that's probably the best knowledge he can give me at the time. So should I be mad at him? No. But I understand now that if my child was to come up to me and say something, I can be able to handle it totally different than my father handled it. So that was a lesson he taught me.
Do you think that seeing your father and the way he was with women affected the kind of man you are as a husband?
That's a challenging question. I don't think so. Because if I was to say yes, then I wouldn't be owning up action for my responsibility. I'll be fooling around there and saying he the reason. And that's not the case because he had a life to live and I have a life to live. The choices I made don't have nothing to do with nobody else in life, not even my dad. They have to do with the way I am as a person.
Okay, so I'm telling you this as your brother.
Go ahead.
You don't believe that the things that you saw and experienced as a child shapes or shapes how you grow as an adult?
Now, because you realize as you grow as an adult, the things they push on you is something they picked up along life. Whether it was looking at some they own experience at that time of life or however. You see what I'm saying? But we quick to put the reason why on other people when the fact of the matter, we got to live this life. Even if we tried it the way our ancestors or great grandfathers or dads did it, we can't live that same life today because it's a different time. Things are different. The television is different. Teaching all around us is different. You see what I'm saying? Me personally, I can talk to my kids till they blue in the face and tell them what or what not to do. But for the fact of the matter, the best teaching comes from experience, life living. You see what I'm saying? My dad, he was who he was. He lived his life for some drink. You see what I'm saying? Enjoyed dancing. And his main thing was, I ain't mad at nobody. You see what I'm saying? Did he love ladies? Yeah. He loved a bunch of women. But at the end of the day, when I think about, man, you had kids. You had kids. What you think about them? Well, he lived his life. Now you got grandkids. What you gonna do about them? He lived his life. Hey man, not only you had kids and grandkids, your grandkids got a kid now. You're here. He lived his life. And in order for somebody to fool around and focus on living their life and enjoying their life, I can't get mad at none of that. I just have to understand that in life, people gonna do what they gonna do. I got an oldest daughter, graduated from high school. I so much wanted her to go to college. That wasn't the life she wanted to live. She moved out of my apartment. Well, she moved out and got her apartment. Moved in with her baby daddy and her children, and she's doing well. She's doing a wonderful job.
How old was she? How old were you when you became a grandfather?
I'm 40 now, so 36. My grandbaby's 4.
Okay, so that means I was 36 also when I had my first child. What was the difference between you at 36 and you at 16 when you had that first child versus when you became a grandfather?
Man. My situation was crazy. And then I was young. You see what I'm saying? His mama was young. So it was a hell of a time for me. You know, actually my son is actually named after a guy that his mama started dating. So it was so crazy that, man, it bothered me. Right now to this day, it don't bother me. I love my son. But to be 36 as a grandfather, it didn't bother me the grandfather part. It bothered me that my daughter didn't listen. And I wanted my children to be able to live their life for them before they fool around there bearing children into the world. But that's what came about. Was I happy about it? No. Very upset because I knew that it was going to fall on me and my wife because we got a teenager having a baby. You see what I'm saying? And when you fool around there and learn to relax as a person, as an individual, and allow people to be them, and you just do your part and live like my dad did, you will fool around there and kind of be relaxed on a lot of pounding on people or trying to get them to live the life that you want them to live. You understand? Hey, man, people got to live their own life. They got to learn their lessons. You only put in these situations to grow through them. Sometimes if people don't go through nothing, when they do go through something, they ready to kill themselves. Especially if their parents has weakened them and didn't allow them to go through things. Because I ain't want my child to be like I raised, or I ain't want my son to go through what I went through. No, if you got to go through what I went through, and that's gonna help you learn, go through it. I can tell you all day long, but my knowledge ain't to tell you about what's going on right then and there. It's tell you what's coming up.
What did you when you found out our father passed away? What's the first thing that went through your mind?
Call you. I don't know why. I just had to call you. I know I had other brothers and sisters, but at this time, me and you close, and I ain't know what else to do but call you. Hell, my wife standing next to me. I ain't tell her. She heard when I called you. And I don't think you answered the first time. I think you answered the second call, But it was unbelievable because I just, you don't look for that. Not he's 60. You know what I'm saying? I know people living to 80, 90 years old, But to get that phone call, man, it was 5 something in the morning, All type of things went through my head, but when they said that, man, that was a shocking. And after I talked to you, I cried trying to get to him.
Our father drank a lot.
Yes, he did.
I drink a lot. I don't judge my father for drinking because, like you said, he got to live his life, and I drink, and I'm pretty. I don't think I'm alcoholic, but I'm pretty functional. My point is, I've known you. I met you like in our early 20s. We almost 40 now. It's been almost 20 years. You don't drink. Is that just something that you don't do, or do you not do that because of him?
No, I do it because I got other leisures and habits. So I didn't make drinking my form of relaxation. Drinking make me sleepy. I don't like to go to sleep. I like to be up. I like to be alert. And some people can handle their liquor to be like that. When I do drink, I'm social drinker. So I'm not gonna drink like that. And if I do, best believe I'm close to home.
Okay, brother. Thank you. We appreciate the conversation. And all right.